Okay, so in last lecture we started with the new chapter, that is memory management, and what we discussed in the last lecture. So mainly we discuss the requirements that memory management scheme needs to satisfy, and those important requirements are relocation, then you have protection, sharing, logical organization of the memory, and physical organization of the memory. These are the 5 important requirements that any memory management scheme has to deal with, or they need to satisfy. And then after we started with the old days management schemes, but for any kind of management, memory management, some kind of partitions are required. And all the schemes that we are going to discuss, they are using one or other type of partitions. And we started with the old days memory management scheme, that is fixed partitions, where again in fixed partition you have 2 variations, with equal size fixed partition and unequal size fixed partitions. We discuss what are the advantages and disadvantages of that type of memory management. Then after we discuss dynamic partitioning. We also discuss what kind of advantage dynamic partitioning provide, but again it has its own limitations, like external fragmentation is one of the problems, and then because of that you may need to perform compaction, which increases some time complexity, so that is there. And then after we discuss one other approach, which is called buddy system, where we consider the whole memory as one block, and whenever it got some request to be satisfied, we use that dividing the available block into 2, and first available space we provide to that, and all those stuff we have done. So that is what we discuss. And then after, of course, we discuss some idea related to logical address and physical address, and then how you can translate logical address and physical address. It is possible that you might not have understood that well, but once we will understand this paging system and then segmentation, you will get the better idea, because we'll see some example also. So this is nothing but this is a recap, and this is what we did in the last lecture. So now today we'll start with the further management scheme, memory management scheme, that is paging. Now what happens in paging scheme? It is quite similar. This paging scheme is quite similar to fixed partitions, but it is little bit advanced to that. So what is this paging? So in paging scheme, first of all, the main memory is now partitioned into small fixed size chunks. In fixed partition also, the whole main memory gets divided into fixed size partitions. Here also the same thing happens, but the only difference is now here this chunk, size of this chunk is very small compared to that partitions, and each process is also divided into same size chunks. So the chunks of memory, they are called frames, and the chunks of process, they are called pages. The whole process that you have, and when I say process, it means process image. When I say process, means process image, and process image is one data structure which contains different things. So this process image, it gets divided, it gets divided into chunks, very small chunks, and these chunks are called pages. And the same size chunks are also used to divide the whole available main memory, and those chunks are called frames. So the size of frame and page, they are always same. So what happens in paging? So when you need to load a process into main memory, first of all, free frames need to be found. It will be checked that in the main memory, which are the free frames available, and those pages of your process are loaded into those free frames. And this list of free frames is always maintained by OS. But if the free frames that you are looking for, let's say your process contains 10 pages, suppose. So basically you want to load 10 pages into 10 free frames. What if contiguous frames are not available? You don't have 10 contiguous free frames where you can load your process. So what happens in that case? And that is the advantage of this paging over fixed partition, that also in that case also new process can be loaded though contiguous frames are not available. Wherever frames are available, your pages will be loaded into those frames. What happened in fixed partitions? In fixed partitions, that was not the option. The whole process needs to be loaded in the contiguous memory. But here that is not the case. The whole process, which is divided in pages, they can be loaded in any free frame available in your main memory. So they need not to be contiguous. And you can think of these frames as one linked list, just to visualize, though it is not that way, but you can visualize that way, that there is some linked list for your pages, and all the frames which contain your process pages, they form one kind of linked list. So they know, okay, from here to there I need to go. So again, though I say it is a linked list, but actually it is not a linked list. So how you know that where my page number 2 is loaded, in which frame? Because it can be any frame of the main memory. So how can you know that my page number 2 where it is loaded? So for that, one extra data structure is maintained by the OS, that is called paging, that is called page table. In paging system, page table needs to be maintained. So operating system maintains a page table for this purpose. So for every process, there is one page table. And page table entry contains the frame location where the page is stored. So let us say if you have 10 pages and page number starts with 0, it is like an array index. So page number starts with 0. So you have page numbers from 0 to 9. So you have page table entries. There are 10 entries in the page table of your process. And from 0 to 9, it will tell you in which main memory frame page number 0 is loaded. So it is like this. Here it is showing 15 pages. So this index is nothing but the page number. Here it is frame number. So you can see that in main memory currently there are 15 frames available. Now you can see that initially, as it was empty, and there is a process A which is made up of 4 pages. So you can see page number 0 of process A is here, and here luckily you get all this contiguous memory. Fine, because initially there is no other processes loaded in this memory. So luckily you get here contiguous frame, but it is not mandatory. Then let's say another process comes which requires 3 pages. So they are loaded after this, and so on. So let us complete this example. So see, again, it requires 4 pages. Now all these processes are blocked. Let's say all these processes are blocked. You need to bring new process D, which requires 5 pages. Okay, but you don't have 5 slots available. You don't have 5 frames available. So you cannot load D here. So the simple simple idea is you can swap one of the block process. Again, who decides that which process should be swapped out? That is job of course OS, definitely OS, but special module of OS, and we call that special module of OS who decides which process will swapped out and swapped in. That is called medium term or mid-term scheduler, right? There are 3 types of scheduler: long-term scheduler, medium-term scheduler, and short-term scheduler. Short-term schedulers we have discussed. All those algorithms, FCFS and all those round robin, they are short-term schedulers algorithms. They are also called dispatchers. So medium-term scheduler is there which decides that which process will go out. And now you have 3 plus 4, total 7 frames available. So D will be started loading from this. You start loading D. So you load 3 of the pages of D here and remaining 2 pages here. So you can see it is not required that you need to have contiguous memory. And this will solve the problem of fixed partition, because see, frames are also nothing but fixed partitions. But the only thing is they are small in the size, and process is also divided in the same size chunks, which is called pages. So which problem of fixed size partition gets solved, almost solved, you can say, with the help of this paging scheme? Can you tell me which problem of fixed partition scheme can be almost solved with this paging scheme? Okay, what was the problem with fixed partition scheme, especially equal size? Okay, someone has asked some question. What are you trying to ask? What is not necessary? Contiguous. Yeah, that is true. Contiguous, you need not to put it in the contiguous slots. That's true. But with that idea, what kind of problem is solved? Yes, that is internal fragmentation. Unused space in partition, that is called internal fragmentation. That internal fragmentation is almost solved. And when I say almost solved, why I use this term almost solved? Because it is possible that when you divide your process into pages, maybe the last page is not filling the whole frame completely. It is possible, right? But the only page is the last page which is not filling the whole frame completely, and some space may be left unused, but then each frame is again very small in the size. So whatever is left in that page is also very small. So the internal fragmentation is almost reduced to null, almost reduced to null. I'm not saying that it is always null, but it is quite reduced. Does this make sense? Yes, are you getting this? So this is paging. Okay, there is one question. Then why was there a statement in above slide like one table per process when all processes are in the same time? Okay, no, that is the different thing. That is what we are going to see. See, this is not a table, first of all. This is main memory. This is itself a main memory, which is divided in frames, which is of the same size as page size. I hope you understand that this is not a table, right? Tables, what is table? Because you don't know. You don't know. A doesn't know in which frames my pages are loaded. D doesn't know in which frames my pages are loaded. Same way, no process knows in which frame of main memory my pages are loaded, and in which frame which page is loaded, that also is not known. And for that you require this page table entry. What it says, this is page table for process A, and this is nothing but page number. So process A page number 0, it is loaded in frame number 0. Is it so? Page 0 of process A, it is loaded in frame number 0. That is what it says. So it is from 0 to 3. Currently process B, it is swept out. Currently process B is swept out. So there is no frames allocated to this process B pages. Process C, it is loaded from 7 to 10. Process C, it is loaded in frame 7 to 10. And process D, you can see first 3 pages are loaded in frame 4, 5, 6, and last 2 pages are loaded in 11, 12. And there is one more table which is maintained by this OS, which is free frame list. So you can see frame 13 and 14 are free. Are you getting this? Okay. So this page table is maintained for every process, so that process knows which page of mine is loaded in which frame of the main memory. Now let us understand this addressing or address structure. When you use paging scheme, you need to understand address structure. So each logical address in program is a pair, that is page number and offset. Okay. Each logical address of any instruction or data, it is made up of two things, page number and offset. For an example, particular address is there in page number 1, offset 5. But remember one thing, page numbers and frame numbers, they always start with 0. They always start with 0. So now, because this page is a logical entity, it is not physical address entity. Physical address entity is a frame. I hope you understand. These pages are logical entity. Actual physical entities are frames, which are there in main memory. So what we need to do, for an example, this C0 page, you are referring some address, let's say 200th address in this C0. You are referring 200th address in C0. So your logical address is page number 0 plus offset 200. Are you getting this? If I am referring 200 address from page 0 of process C, the logical address is page 0 plus offset 200. And that logical address need to be converted into actual physical location. And actual physical location is the 200th address in frame number 7. So that is what you need to do. You need to convert page number and offset to the frame number and offset. So offset will remain same because page size and frame size, they are same. Offset is going to remain same. Only thing is page number, where this page is loaded, that frame number should be used in a physical address. And this conversion, this translation of address, it is done by processor hardware. This address translation is done by processor hardware. Of course, we will see one example. But before that, let us discuss whatever is there in this slide. Paging versus fixed partitioning. So paging has small partition size compared to fixed partitioning. Paging does not require partitions to be contiguous, and paging results into small amount of internal fragmentation only for the last page. All other pages are full. Only in the last page, you may have very small internal fragmentation. Okay. So this is the example. Let us try to understand this paging example. So consider the memory supporting 16-bit addresses. Okay. Now you have a memory which can be referred with the 16-bit address and given page size. Now the page size, which is same as frame size. So the whole 16-bit referred memory is divided in frames or pages of size 1024 bytes. That is 1K byte page. So page size is 1K. So can you tell me how many number of pages can be there? Maximum number of pages or frames? Because page size and frame size are same. So can anyone tell me how many maximum pages can be there? Okay. Even before that, can anyone tell me what can be the size of the main memory? How many addresses are there in main memory? Now this is very important. You need to understand. Even this is very important by the gate perspective also. So can you tell me what is the size of main memory, or how many addresses are there in main memory? Yes, 2⁻16, correct. Because each address is made up of 16 bits. So how many addresses can be there? 2⁻16. Now this addresses, each address is of some fixed size because it is referring one particular word in the main memory. Each address refers one word in the memory. This word can be of different sizes. In some cases, the word size can be 1 byte. In some cases, it can be 2 bytes. Even it can be 4 bytes or more than that. We don't know. So you can see the main memory, total addresses in main memory, they are 2 raised to 16 words. That is the general term, 2 raised to 16 words. And word size can be 2 byte, 4 byte, 1 byte, anything. Okay. So there are 2 raised to 16 addresses and page size is 1024 bytes. So now let us consider that currently word size is 1 byte. Let us assume that currently the word size is 1 byte. So there are 2 raised to 16 bytes of memory available as a main memory. There are 2 raised to 16 bytes main memory. That is the size of main memory. And page size is 1024 bytes. If I convert 1024 bytes into power of 2, what it is? You should be good at this binary calculation. That is 2 raised to 10. Yes. So total addresses are 2 raised to 16. One page can contain 2 raised to 10 bytes. So tell me how many pages can be there? 2. Is it 2? It is 2 raised to 6. Yes. That is 2 raised to 16 divided by 2 raised to 10. That is 2 raised to 6. So address space, that is 2 raised to 16. And we consider that one word is of size 1 byte. So that is why address space is 64K. Address space is 64K. That is 2 raised to 16. And you are dividing your address space into 1K. Into 1K pages. So 64 divided by 1 or 2 raised to 16 divided by 2 raised to 10, whatever way you like. So total 64 pages can be there. Total 64 pages can be there. Are you getting this? Yes or no? Okay. Now, what can be the address structure? See, what is our logical address structure? Page number plus offset. Page number plus offset. So tell me how many pages you can have at max? At max, how many pages are there? You have just answered that, right? 64. So to represent 64 pages in binary, how many bits are required? How many bits are required to represent 64 in binary? 6. Yes, 6 bits. So your 6 bit represent your page number. In your address structure, first 6 bit represent page number. So how many bits are remaining then? Offset. What can be the maximum value of offset? 10 bits offset. Yes, because maximum value from 0 to 1023. Offset from 0 to 1023. So you require 10 bits for that. You require 10 bits for that. So total 6 bits for page number, 10 bits for offset within that page, and that is how your 16 bit is there. So 10 bits offset, 6 bits page number, that is equal to 16 bit address. Are you getting this? Everyone? Right? So you need to understand this. Once you understand this, then it is simple. Now this is interesting. So logical address equal to 31 bits. Now this is different, huh? You just need to understand this. let me check one thing here. Okay, so if logical address is of 31 bits, okay, then address space. Now try to understand this. We are trying to do different calculations here. Suppose you are given logical address that is equal to 31 bits. So what is the address space? Address space is nothing but total number of addresses available. And if logical address is 31 bits, total number of addresses available equal to 2 raised to 31. It is 2 raised to 31, and that is nothing but 2 gigabyte. That is 2 gigabytes. Okay. Now similarly, address space is equal to 128 megabyte. That is 2 raised to 7 into 2 raised to 20, because it is 2 raised to 27. Because M represents 2 raised to 20 and 128 is 2 raised to 7. So address space is this. So logical address, now logical address is of 27 bits. So this is basically showing some examples. How you convert when you give a logical addresses in bits, how you can find out the address space. If you are given address space, how you can find logical address bits. Okay. Similarly, physical address, if it is of 22 bits, what is the address space? Now you need to tell me. If physical address is 22 bits, what is the size of address space? These are the different examples. Okay, this is not the same example. These are different examples that we are trying to understand. If physical address is made up of 22 bits, then address space is 4 MB. That is 2 raised to 2 into 2 raised to 20. That is 4 MB. And it is megabytes, right? Because these are the address, and each address, we assume that each address is representing 1 byte. It is addressing 1 byte. So that is 4 megabyte actually. But it can be anything. Word size can be anything. It can be 1 byte, it can be 2 bytes, anything. Then again, one more example. Address space is 16 M. So what is the logical address size? How many bits are used in logical address? You can simply see that from here. Number of bits used in physical address or logical address, that is 24. Here it is physical address, fine. So whatever it is, right? Now this is one example that you need to calculate. Given physical address is of size 12 bits, logical address is 13 bits, and page size or frame size equal to 1K. Now this is interesting. Here you can see that this number of bits in logical address and number of bits in physical address are different. Number of bits in logical address and number of bits in physical address, they are different, and that is quite possible because logical address can be as big as possible, but physical address is limited. So you may see this kind of stuff also. So can you answer these 4 questions based on this 3 information given to you? If physical address, okay, now one thing you need to understand, when it comes to physical address, it means frames. When it comes to logical address, it means pages. Okay, and here page size and frame size is fixed, 1K, that is 10 bits. 10 bits. So how many pages can be there? Maximum number of pages or number of pages? Pages, when you find number of pages, you need to check logical address. Exactly, 8 pages can be there. 13 bits minus 10 bits offset or 10 bits page size. So that is 3 bits are left. That is 2 raised to 3 pages can be there. That is 8 pages. Frames, number of frames, 4, correct. Structure of logical address, how many bits are used for page number and how many bits are used for offset. That is structure. That is structure. Logical address is 10 plus 3 and physical address is 10 plus 2. Is it 10 plus 3 or 3 plus 10? It is 3 plus 10. 3 bits for page number and 10 bits for offset. Similarly, in this physical address, 2 bits for frame number because it is physical, so it is 2. 2 for frame number and 10 for offset. Now, if you remember, I told you there are two types of, actually there are 3 types of addresses: physical, logical, and relative. So physical and logical we have just seen, but then what is relative? So when page size and frame size, if they are in power of 2, then relative address and logical addresses are the same thing. Let us try to understand this. Let's say here in this block, this is user process and it is of size 2700 bytes. The size of this user process, it is 2700 bytes. You are finding address 1502 in this process. Okay, you are trying to find it in this process. Now, if you divide this into pages, so logical address is nothing but page number plus offset 478, where you consider page number, where you consider page size that is equal to 1K. So if I consider page size 1K and if I try to convert this address into page number plus offset, then it would be page 0 contains 1024 addresses from 0 to 1023, and 1024 onwards they are there in page number 1. So 1502 address will be there in page number 1, and that is offset 478. 478 offset is there in page number 1. So logical address is page 1, offset 478. And if you see this binary representation of this address and binary representation by page number 1, that is how many bits are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bits are there in page number, and remaining bits are there in 10 bits are there in offset. So if you compare these two binary addresses, your relative address and logical address are same when page size and frame size they are in power of 2. If page size and frame size they are not in power of 2, then relative address and logical address cannot be same. They can be different. So we are not focusing on this part right now because mostly we assume that, mostly we consider that page size and frame size they are always in power of 2, like 1K, 2K or whatever. Normal page sizes are 1K and 2K normally. Are you clear up to this point, everyone? Now address translation, how this is done. So consider an address of, we have already seen actually, consider an address of n plus m bits, where leftmost n bits are the page number and the rightmost m bits are the offset. So basically this is logical address, because if it is page number, then it is logical address. If it is frame number, then it is physical address. So n bits logical, n bits page number, it means this is logical address, and m bits offset. So what is the address translation steps? How you convert or how you translate logical address into physical address? Because it is not necessary that it is always same, right? Most of the time it is not same. So extract the page number as the leftmost n bits. So from this, if you have n bits page number, you find out the page number first. use that same page number as an index into that process page table to find frame number. You need to find out, okay, for this process, particular page number, let's say page number 10. So where this page number 10 is loaded in physical memory, find out that frame number from the process table. Let's say it is K. So generate physical address by appending frame number with offset. So it is like this. This is very simple example. You can see 16-bit logical address and 16-bit physical address. Here, number of bits in logical address and physical address are same, but it is not always required. Sometimes you have this different sizes also. Okay, so let us understand with same size first. So 6-bit page number. So first 6 bits are for page number and remaining 10 bits are offset. So first of all, this is n plus m structure. From n bits, first 6 bits, find out the page number. So what is the page number here? If I convert this binary value, 6-bit binary value into decimal, what is the page number? 1. So find out where this page number 1 is loaded, in which frame, from the process table. So in process table, find out this index 1 and it is loaded in page number this. So what is this page number? Frame number in decimal. What is this value in decimal? Yes, 6. So frame number 6 is having page number 1 of this process. So go to frame number 6 and offset will be as it is. It will be added as it is because page size and frame size, they are always same. So offset is just added to this 6 and this will become your physical address. So now you need to go to this offset in frame number 6 and that is referring this logical address. Are you getting this? Yes, guys, are you getting this? Simple address translation. So if we summarize this paging idea, we call it simple paging because after this, we will look at the virtual memory. In the next lecture, we will look at the virtual memory. There we will use paging with virtual memory. So this is simple paging. So what is the summary for this? Divide main memory into many small equal size frames. Divide process into frame size pages. So page size and frame size are always same. Smaller processes require fewer pages. Larger processes require more pages. When a process is brought in, all of its pages are loaded into available frames and page table is set up. Okay, so that is all about simple paging. Now, this paging scheme is similar to the fixed partitioning scheme. Similar to dynamic partitioning, there is another scheme called segmentation. Another scheme is called segmentation. What is this? A user program can be subdivided into segments. And these segments may vary in length. And there is a maximum segment length available. Okay, there is always a maximum segment length. Okay, while doing C programming, have you come across this error segmentation fault? Yes, have you ever observed segmentation fault in C programming? So that is segment. Segment is nothing but one partition you can think of, and you can see segments may vary in length. Segments may vary in length, and every segment has one maximum length that this segment cannot grow beyond this size. So this is similar to dynamic partitioning. You think of this as a dynamic partition where your program is subdivided into segments. So similar to dynamic partitioning due to unequal size segments, because in dynamic partitioning also you create partition as per your requirement. Similarly, this segments are also different, having different sizes. And addressing consists of two parts. Like in paging, address consists of two parts. page number and offset. In segmentation also, in segment also, there are two parts, segment number and offset. So how this is different from paging? Okay, pages are of fixed size, segments are of not fixed size, they are of different sizes. Different segments are of different sizes. But once it is created, it is having some maximum length. Similar to paging, you have one segment table per process. And segment table entry, what it contains? Starting address of segment in main memory and length of segment. This is very important. Why this was not there in paging? When we use paging scheme, when we discuss paging scheme, there was no such length field, but it is there in segment table entry. Can anyone tell me why length of segment is there as an entry in segment table? In page table, there was no such entry. There was only frame number stored. Can you tell me why? The reason is page table entry stores pages, and page is of fixed size. The size of page is always fixed, but segments can have different sizes. So for each segment, you need to store two things. What is the starting address of that segment in main memory? Okay. Whereas page table entry, it stores only frame number. Whereas here, segment table entry stores starting address of that segment in main memory plus length of that segment. So you know that up to which address this segment is. And when a process enters running state, so whenever any process enters into the running state, address of segment table is also loaded into main memory. At that time, segmentation, whatever segment table is there for that process, that is loaded into the main memory, so that you can refer segments of that process. And if we talk about this address translation, which is similar to this paging, but not exactly same, because there is some different fields also. So how you can convert logical address into physical address? So first of all, you need to extract the segment number as the leftmost n bits, the same way you did it in paging. Use the segment number as an index into the process segment table to find starting physical address of segment. Now it won't give you any direct frame number or something like that. It will give you only starting physical address of that segment. Compare offset with the length. So whatever offset is there, m bit offset is there, just compare that m bit offset with the length of that segment. If offset is greater than length, that address is invalid because you are trying to refer address out of that segment. Generate physical address by appending starting address with offset. If that offset is within the limit of that or within the length of the segment, then simply append that offset with the starting address of segment, and that will give you physical address. So this is the example. Let us try to understand. 16-bit logical address, but this time first 4-bit, it represents segment number. It is segment number in the segment table, and it is also 1. If you see, it is 1. So it is the index in the segment table, but segment table now it contains 2 entries. Each entry of segment table, it contains 2 fields: the starting address, starting physical address, and the length of that segment. So what you need to do, take this starting address. This is actual physical address of this segment in main memory. Take this address, then compare this offset, 12-bit offset with the length. Compare this 12-bit offset with this length field. If this offset is less than or equal to this length, then you add this offset into base address. Base address is of 16-bit. See, because actual physical address is also 16-bit. So base address is nothing but the memory, you can say starting address of that segment in the physical memory, main memory. So it is 16-bit. So in this 16-bit base address, add this 12-bit offset, and that will give you the final physical address of this particular logical address. Are you getting this? let me know if you have any query on this. If you are not getting, let me know. Okay, so this is 16-bit logical address, but this is not paging scheme. This is segmentation scheme. So where first 4 bits here, let's assume that only 4 bits are used for segments. Okay, so this 4 bits represent segment, and if you convert this 4 bits into decimal, it will give you value 1. So I am referring segment number 1, and within that segment I am referring this address. This is the offset. So now first I will refer my segment table. I will find out the segment 1 entry, that is this index. This is 16-bit base address. This is actual starting address for this segment 1. This is the physical address, physical starting address of segment 1, where my segment 1 is started to store in the physical address. So this 16-bit, then I will check, okay, what is the maximum size of this segment? And it is this. So you need to compare this maximum size of the segment with the offset. Are you crossing that size or not while using this offset? If this offset is less than or equal to this length, then you add this 12-bit offset into this 16-bit starting address, normal binary addition. Okay, so this offset is added into this base address, and you will get whatever you get, that is actual 16-bit physical address for this logical address. Does this make sense? Everyone? Any question? So now this is a simple comparison between these 4 different schemes. Fixed partitioning. Okay. Main memory is divided into a number of static partitions at system generation time. A process may be loaded into a partition of equal or greater size. What is strength of fixed partitioning? It is simple to implement. Little operating system overhead, very little operating system overhead. But what are the weaknesses? Inefficient use of memory due to internal fragmentation, and maximum number of active processes are fixed. Then we discuss dynamic partitioning. Partitions are created dynamically so that each process is loaded into a partition of exactly the same size as that process. So there is no internal fragmentation. So no internal fragmentation, more efficient use of main memory. That is strength. But then weakness is inefficient use of processor due to the need for compaction, because compaction is utilizing processor time to counter the external fragmentation. And why compaction is required? To counter the external fragmentation, which is the problem. Then today we discuss simple paging. What is simple paging? Main memory is divided into a number of equal size frames. Each process is divided into a number of equal size pages of the same length as frame length. A process is loaded by loading all of its pages into available, not necessarily contiguous frames. There is no external fragmentation, but small amount of internal fragmentation can be there, very small amount. When you compare it with the fixed partitioning internal fragmentation, it is very small. Then we discuss simple segmentation. Each process is divided into a number of segments. A process is loaded by loading all of its segments into dynamic partition that need not be, it is hidden here, that need not be of same size. No internal fragmentation, improved memory utilization and reduced overhead compared to dynamic partitioning. But there can be external fragmentation because it is similar to dynamic fragmentation. So dynamic partitioning, so external fragmentation can be there in this simple segmentation. Are you clear? Any question? Okay. So if you don't have question, I do have some questions for you. I have, let me show you that internet on the web browser. Let me share. Okay. Is this visible, browser? Fine. So there are a few questions that you can try to solve. So these are similar. I mean, these are based on our paging scheme. So can you calculate the size of memory if its address consists of 22 bits and the memory is 2-byte addressable? See, memory is 2-byte addressable. Every address is made up of one word, which is of 2 bytes. So can you find out the actual size of main memory? Can anyone answer this? It is not difficult. Okay, how many addresses are there? How many addresses are there? 2 raised to 22, yes. And each address refer 2 bytes. So total size of the memory? 2 raised to 23, exactly. 2 raised to 23, that is the size of the memory. Clear? That is 8 MB. One more question. Calculate the number of bits required in the address for memory having size of 16 GB. Memory size is 16 GB. Assume the memory is 4-byte addressable. So word size is 4 byte. Word size is 4 byte. So first of all, you need to find out how many addresses are there. And then you need to find out, based on that, you can find out what number of bits are required to represent those many addresses. So this is reverse of the previous example. Yes, anyone? Okay, 16 GB divided by 4 byte, first of all. That is 4 GB addresses are there, 4G addresses are there. And 4G addresses are nothing but 32 bits, right? So it is like this. You can solve like this. 2 raised to n into 4 bytes equal to 16 GB. So that will be 2 raised to n into 4 equal to 16 bytes cancelled. And then this 4 is 2 raised to 2. This is 2 raised to 34. So ultimately 2 raised to n equal to 2 raised to 32. So n equal to 32. Correct. Exactly right. So 32 bits addresses. Consider a system with byte addressable memory. Byte addressable memory. It means every word is of size 1 byte. 32-bit logical addresses, 4K page size, and page table entries of 4 byte each. page table entry is of 4 byte each. And that is simple because, okay, the size of the page table in the system in megabyte is, now what is the size of the page table in megabytes? Now, can you do this? Page table size. Okay, this is not main memory. This is related to logical addresses. So 32-bit logical addresses. And 4 kilobyte is space size. So how many pages can be there, first of all? 32 is the total logical address size and 4 kilobyte is space size. So how many pages can be there, or how many bits are used to represent number of pages? 4 kilobyte is 2 raised to 20? No. 2 raised to 20 is megabyte. 4 kilobyte, it is 2 raised to 2 into 2 raised to 10. That is 2 raised to 12. Yes. So 12 bits are used for offset because it is space size. So out of 32 bit, 12 bits are used for offset. So how many bits are used for page? 20 bits. So 2 raised to 20 pages are there. 2 raised to 20 pages are there. Maximum number of pages 2 raised to 20. Okay. And each page table entries of 4 bytes each. See, how many pages can be there at max in one page table? How many pages can be there at max? Let's consider that the process is so long that it contains 2 raised to 20 pages. So page table size, so your page table, it contains 2 raised to 20 pages. And each page table entry is of 4 byte. It is 4 byte. So 4 into 2 raised to 20, that is 4 megabyte is the size. 4 megabyte is the size. Okay. No, we are finding page table entry, right? Size of the page table in the system in megabyte. So it should be 4. Yeah. So where is the answer? Yeah. Answer is 4 megabyte. Correct. Are you getting this kind of examples? Or you want me to solve this for you? Guys, let me know. Are you getting this? Okay, fine. Now one more. Consider a machine with 64 megabyte physical memory. Now it is physical memory. That is actual main memory. And a 32-bit virtual address space. Okay, should we go in this? No, because we haven't yet done virtual addresses, right? No, we haven't gone through this virtual memory. So we are not doing this example. Fine. So these are few examples just to understand how this paging scheme works. Let me see if I can find you such example for segmentation. So consider this segment table. These are the segment numbers, these are the base addresses, and this is the length of each segment. Okay. Which of the following logical address will produce trap addressing error? Okay, trap addressing error means you are trying to refer address outside that segment. So tell me, out of all these 5, which address will it is trying to refer the address outside that segment? Do we have more? So in a segmentation scheme, the generated logical address consists of two parts. We know that segment number and offset. So segment offset must always lie in the range 0 to limit minus 1. Okay, so 0 to limit minus 1. So tell me, if segment offset becomes greater than or equal to the limit of segment, then the trap. So in this case, first option. No, it is doing it for everything. Segment number 0, segment offset 430. In the segment table, limit of segment 0 is 700. Thus, the segment offset must always lie in the range 0 to 690, and that is there. So no problem. Now, since generated segment offset lies in the above range, so request generated is valid. So this option is valid. And this is the physical address. So it is checking for actually everything. So this is also valid. Someone has answered question C, right? So it is the correct answer. Option 3. What is it? Let us see what is C. 2 and 100. Right? Because this cannot be 100. It is 0 to 99. This must be between 0 to 99 and it is actually 100. So that is the incorrect option, right? So that is true. C is the correct answer. Do we have any more example? No, there is no such more example. Fine. But this is just for your idea. We'll do more examples with virtual memory, because simple paging and simple segmentation schemes, they are not used actually. They are not used. Okay. See, what you need to check, the offset size, it must be less than this length. Less than length, because length is the total length. So offset can be 0 to 699 in this case. In this case, offset can be 0 to 13. Here it can be 0 to 99. That is the total length of the offset. But if you see this value in offset in segment 2, it is saying offset 100, but offset value can be 0 to 99. And that is why this is going to create invalid address. Clear? Neil? All other addresses are within the range. All other offsets are within the limit. So simple paging, simple paging and simple segmentation, they are actually not used. Basically, they are used with virtual memory, and sometimes even combination of segmentation and pagings are used. So in the next lecture, we will start with the next topic, next chapter, that is virtual memory. And that is the actual model that is currently being used. Okay, now let me just know when you will be back from the vacation. So Monday is a working day. Okay, but Monday I won't be available. So we will do it on Wednesday and Friday, next Wednesday and Friday. So I'll complete my 2 lectures on Wednesday and Friday. Is it fine?